Hi guys, we've just got to the hotel in Nottingham for the 5th Horus Heresy Weekender. It's my 5th, it's Robin's first. He's actually joined me at the Horus Heresy Weekender. It's only taken you 5 years, well done. So, what are we going to go see today? Oh, Sanguinius? Well, are we going to see Book 8 and Blood Angels, maybe Dark Angels, maybe see sneak peek of Sanguinius? Plastic Thunderhawk gunship? Doubt it. I doubt it. But who knows? Let's go and have a look what they've got on offer. Heresy Weekender 2017 that I've just got back from. Good event, really enjoyed that one again. Was it as good as previous years? Not so sure. Not as much to show us in the way of new stuff. I think that's just because they've got so much they're working on at the moment that, yeah, that some of it's still in production and all that kind of stuff. So day one, we got there and we went to the first seminar, and the first seminar was about Book 7, that I've purchased, which is here. So this is Inferno. So what's in Inferno? I've got some notes in front of me, so if I keep looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So Book 7, we've got Space Wolves, Thousand Suns, the Legio Custodes, Sisters of Silence, and we've also got some minor forces in there. So what was involved in the burning of Prospero. Right at the start of the Horus Heresy, this book's actually going back in time. We have the Order Sinister, which is basically psychic titans. So a warlord titan that is a psychic. And the rules for them are in this book, and disgusting is the short answer. So if your psych titan goes apocalyptic blast, as titans can do, it's D, AP1, AP2, AP2. Everything is dead when it goes nuts. It's amazing. We have the Legio Mortis. We have the Legio Extobiox. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Which were basically in the wrong place at the wrong time. They were there and they shouldn't have been, and they got caught up in it all. But quite interestingly, in here there are also the Sons of Horus. So, because where this is set in the timeline of the Horus Heresy, it's the Emperor that sent the Space Wolves out to bring the Thousand Suns back into line. Did the Emperor want them dead? Did the Emperor want them destroyed and Prospero burned? No, he didn't. What happened was the War Master, who had this obviously cunning plan of turning traitor, sent his own forces there to make sure that his will was done. So it's down to him that the reason that the Space Wolves and the Thousand Suns had this massive, great big battle that led to the destruction of this planet. The artwork's fantastic. The rules are really good. I'm now really thinking about starting the Space Wolf Legion. Some of the rules for Lehman Russ and some of the rules for their units are really good. I quite like them. I play Space Wolves in 40k, which you know, and I love them. So I'm thinking about doing Wolves for 30k. Maybe. I'm still toying with the idea. I might do a couple of test models and see what I think. So in this book, we've got the background to the whole burning of Prospero and the leading up to it. We have the Magnus censor, so that's about the Emperor, not what... They wanted Magnus taught a lesson and brought in line with the Emperor's ideas. They didn't want this planet destroyed, I've already said that, which is great. There's a campaign in here for Prospero, so you can reenact the Prospero. Now, the Wolfen. There's been a few report. There's a comment in the battle report a couple of weeks ago about, I wish the Wolfen were on Prospero. They were here. They just hadn't changed yet. It is down to what happened at Prospero, the reason why they started to mutate, and they had that broken gene seed started to come through. Because during the fight, reality started to break down and everything started to fall apart, and it sped up that process in the Wolfen that shouldn't have happened, which I think is amazing from a Space Force player and a 40k player point of view. And you're playing Wolfen on the table, that's where they came from. It's amazing. Talons of the Emperor were there as well. So like the Custodes and people like that, they have their weapons are held by the Emperor. They're not given to the Space Marines. A lot of the weapons that the Custodes used, it's technology from the Dark Age, and they're really, and alien tech in that as well, and they're really held back from the Space Marines, and they weren't allowed it because the Custodes were the ones that had it, because if anything ever went wrong, there was a fallback plan, which was the Custodes. Brilliant, love it. What else have I got written down here? So have a look. Sisters of Silence. The Sisters of Silence rules are in here as well, and they've got a couple of ships in here. Wow, there's one, kind of looks like a submarine, which is a little bit, I think that's what we all called it over the weekend, a submarine, and I'll put some photos on in a second for that. Basically, it's alien tech built on the Emperor's technology and given to them, and it's stealth and it's silent, and it literally goes up to a planet and takes all the psychers off, because that is the Emperor's grand plan. The Emperor's grand plan is to keep humanity safe. The biggest threat to humanity is chaos, and the way that chaos gets through is through psychers. So the idea is, get rid of all the psychers, there will be no way for chaos to break into reality. So the Sisters' main purpose is to go out there and bring in and basically get rid of all of the psychers. No matter what age they are, they will go to a planet and they will use these ships because they will be untraceable, unspottable on radar, anything like that, and sneak up and get them. And this thing is brilliant. So it's got like coffin doors like on the side, and just open up and they'll stick the psychers in there, and really cool. And it's unusual. It's broken away from a lot of the sculpts that we've seen recently in Horus Heresy, so it's something completely different, and I think it works. I think it works quite well. I was a little bit not sold on it from the photos, but then when I saw the mould on the second day, or the miniature on the second day, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool actually. The second seminar on the first day was a Black Library preview, really, of all the books that we've got coming up over the next couple of months. I've got the front covers photos to show you in a second. So the first one is Garrow, which is a compilation of all the Garrow novels, audio books, and some new material in there as well. So if you're a massive fan of Garrow, go buy it, because there's new stuff in there, and the audio books are brilliant anyway with Garrow in. We've got Binary audiobook that is more about the political problems inside the Mechanicum, which we don't really touch on the political side of it too much. It's more about the war. So this is going to be quite an interesting one, I think. Shattered Legions, which is basically short stories on salamanders and iron hands, and what happens to them in their Shattered Legion form as they now are. We saw the Perturabo Primarch book as well. The front cover to that looks brilliant, looks really good, looks really amazing. Basically, it's his story of his life back on Olympia, and the reasons why he is as he is come basically threaded out in this novel. So the reason why he's kind of got daddy issues, and he's like, daddy doesn't love me, I don't trust any of my sons, kind of all is put in context in this book, which I think will probably be a really good, interesting read, to be honest. New audio drama about the Emperor's children. Great front cover. It looks like a rock album front cover. It's brilliant. And it's basically the start now of the Cacophony Marines moving into Noise Marines. And yeah, I'm sure the sound effects in that audiobook will be amazing. They'll be really good to actually hear what these things actually sound like. Dark Compliance audio drama, which is again an amazing front cover that Neil Roberts has done. We had a sneaky peek off Neil on the Saturday, and it's fantastic artwork. It's kind of Horus, and what does he do? What is he doing? Because we don't really hear of Horus. We hear of his, you know, the traitor legions and the other Primarchs. But what is Horus doing during a lot of the years in the Horus Heresy? Well, this is kind of it. It's him formulating his plans and his what's he going to do and how's he going to do it. This is that audio book for that. There's a new Terran book coming out. So there's been 2 so far, I think, with about the Terran War. And basically it's putting that all into one place, and there's new material in there. And then the final seminar on the first day was showing us new minis. Now, I think this is the same as last year as well, where they kind of showed us photos of everything that we saw in the new mini gallery on the Saturday anyway. So it was kind of like revisiting photos of miniatures we've already seen. The assault cannons for the Terminators, the Cataphractor Terminators, they showed us that, really cool. We saw the Moritats. Moritats have finally got miniatures, which is brilliant. So these are kind of like one-man killers of the Legion. They're a console upgrade. And they look fantastic, like dual-wielding pistols running around the place. Looks amazing, they really do. Thousand Sons, Terminator, bodyguards to Magnus. Yeah, they look epic, and I'll show you the photos in a second. Librarian Dreadnought with the Thousand Sons. So the Thousand Sons Librarian Dreadnought is really ornate, very garbed out with like regal looking Thousand Sons. But he's got a power fist, and underneath his power fist, he's got a massive, great big force weapon hanging from it. The man will be unstoppable. The other thing for the Thousand Sons that they showed us was Mechanicum, basically the robots that the Mechanicum get for the Thousand Sons. So rather than being hooked up to the Cybernetica, they're more run off psychic powers and things like that. So they're different. They look slightly different, but they look stunning in the red paint job from the Thousand Sons. Yeah. Damn it, they look awesome. And then finally, there was the new Mechanicum tank. So, you know, the troop transport one they've got. So they've got rid of the troop transport capacity, and they've now filled it with rockets with 2 pods that open up. And filling that are chemical weapons that will just eradicate anything that's anywhere near them. Oh, really cool. Like that. Chemical weapons usage. Some weapons hanging off the side as well. Miniature looks really cool. Let's go and have a look at those photos. So on to the second day, and the first seminar this morning was Adeptus Titanicus. Now on the Friday night, because this was open on the Friday night for you to register this event, and on the Saturday night they actually had Adeptus Titanicus games running, but using 40k miniatures. So we had Warlord Titans and Reavers and Warhounds with some made up buildings and things like that, and it was brilliant. It was great fun to watch. Looks like an amazing game. Sunday morning's first seminar was running through where they are with Adeptus Titanicus. They showed us the history of Adeptus Titanicus. So forget epic. This is not epic. You're not going to get the troops and the little land raiders and things like that. No, this is just Titans. The smallest they're going to get down to is Knights. Not sure on scale yet. They think it's going to be about 8mm scale. I think they said it was. Inside the book there's going to be the background history of a lot of the Titan legions that we already know, some of the new ones as well that are going to be in there. There's no decision on model range yet, though they've got a Reaver done and they're pretty much there with a Warlord. Didn't really show us any of that because they're still work in progress. They're not sure when it's going to be out. So they're hoping that it will be this year. My gut says it'll probably be more likely next year. But there's that slot at Christmas, isn't there now, with Blood Bowl and things like that, about October time. Will it be ready? I don't know. The release schedule for Games Workshop and Forge World this year is getting really full anyway, so they need to try and find a slot for it to fit in. So my gut says it'll be more likely next year, 2018, rather than this year. But we'll have to wait and see. One of the things they did say to us, which I think is really interesting, is its play style. So the rule books, there's going to be 3 different play styles. So kind of very Age of Sigmar-y. You've got an open play where you can just take what you want. There's going to be a match play, which is your points, or there's a narrative play. So you can do narrative missions that are going to be in the rule book, and they're very story-based and all things like that. So very Age of Sigmar, but that kind of will work with these Titans, I think. I think that will be pretty cool. So I've got some photos of, there's no photos of the Titans, it's more about the rule book and some of the fluff and some of the previous Titans that from the 80s and things like that. So let's have a look at them. And then the final seminar today was about Book 8. So Book 8 is called Angelus. So in this book we have Blood Angels, we have Dark Angels, we have Night Lords, we have the Dark Mechanicum. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So, and Chaos. So Chaos in their form as we know them now in 40k is starting to seep out of the warp and into 30k worlds. We're going to get the background because this is going to cover from the Sigma's Prime all the way to the Siege of Baal and basically the Dark Angel stuff as well. So it sounds amazing. It looks really cool. Again, they've said that they've got all their wording done, so it probably means all the fluff and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean that they haven't started working on any minis yet. I don't even know if they've got any rules. So let's face facts, Book 6 came out last year at the Horus Heresy Weekender and not long after. Book 7 is out this year at the Horus Heresy Weekender. So Book 8 will probably be out this time next year at the Horus Heresy Weekender and then a couple of weeks after for general release. So it's about a 12-month turnaround. Interesting what we're going to see in here though. So Dark Mechanicum, the Forge worlds that have gone over to Horus have kind of been given free reign of what they can do. So they they're basically sticking demons now inside the engines, and we're going to start to get some of the chaos demon engines that we know in 40k kind of coming into Horus Heresy, and new minis for that, and I'm really excited by that because you're going to get the different variants of them, you know, all the different chaos gods. They don't know them as demons, they just know them as warp entities. They don't know about the different taints of chaos, so they're just going to stick them in a war machine, and then it's like, oh, this one keeps rusting every time I paint it. What's going on here? Why is this one bleeding and wanting blood all the time? They don't understand it. They're just playing with the technology, which I think is amazing. Sounds really good. The chaos stuff isn't a complete change to the chaos that we know. It's more chaos we know plus, which I think would be really cool. Traitor legions. They said that the traitor legions, they're going to have to go back and visit the traitor legions now because they're starting to corrupt. So we're starting to see mutations starting to come through in the traitor legions as well. So I don't think that will be in book 8. I think that's more likely going to be book 9. They did say we're about halfway through with the red books. So they're expecting this to go on for a minimum of 15 to 20 books. 75 to 80 pound a pop. It could be quite expensive by the end of it. But yeah, book 8 sounds really good. Robin from Geeks 4K got really excited because he also collects Blood Angels. He hasn't done anything with his Blood Angels for a while. Hopefully he'll be doing Blood Angels for 30k and we can get them on the channel, and that'll be awesome. But one of the interesting points that I picked up was they were talking about, somebody asked the question about with the new edition of 40k due this year, 8th edition, and we kind of think it's going to get Age of Sigmar'd a little bit and stripped out of rules, and maybe some different styles of play in there, like Age of Sigmar, like Adeptus Titanicus is taking. So is that the route they're going down? What would Horus Heresy do? Would it keep the rules that we've currently got, or would we follow the main core rules from Games Workshop? And Tony said that they don't want rules flying all over the place, so whatever the main core rules for 40k is, that'll be the main core rules for Horus Heresy. So the rumours of there being a separate rulebook for Horus Heresy, not happening. You know, there was rumours about 2 rulebooks for 40k, one basic, one beginner, one basic, one more advanced. That doesn't look like that's going to happen. So whatever the core rules are for 8th, that will carry over to Horus Heresy. Inside these black books, it does say this is an add-on to the rulebook for Warhammer 40,000. So it kind of does make sense that they follow the same line as 40k. They do diverge off the rules a little bit. We know that from the red books and the black books themselves. And they still have that option. But your main core rules, your move, your shoot, your assault, your fall, all the normal stuff that we're used to, they will follow. Whatever comes in 8th edition will filter through to Horus Heresy. Good thing, depends what they do with 8th edition. Yeah, anyway. So let's go have a look at some of the artwork from 8th. On a final note, the last thing they showed us is the next Primarch that'll be coming out, which is Magnus the Red. Should be available at Warhammer Fest apparently, so is that May time. It should be available to buy there, and if not, I'm sure we'll see a finished miniature of him. So yeah, looking forward to getting him and painting him up and adding him to my collection of Primarchs. So, overall, a really good weekender. Nice to meet up with loads of people that we know and make some new friends and see some of you guys out there that watch our videos and see you at the weekender as well. That was really good. Great to meet some of you guys. Overall, like I said at the start, was it as good as some of the previous years? No, but that's, I think, due to the amount of content they had to show us. But that's just down to how busy they are. I don't think they're withholding anything. I just think that they're so busy in the studio. And like Alan Blythe said, it's quite a small team. They've got so much they're working on, and they can't please everybody all of the time. That, you know, they came to this weekend and not having to show us much. They showed us everything they could. The Custode stuff, oh my God, that looks amazing. The new Dreadnought looks fantastic. So yeah, if you went, leave a comment in the box. What did you think of the Weekender? As good as previous years? Was it your first one? What did you think of it? As always, guys, please leave us a like, and we'll see you on the next one.